All right, everybody. Welcome to the wedding, and I'm so glad to see you all. I'm Robin Peters and Katya's father. So I have a little bit to talk about here. Lena's speech is going to be a good amount, but mine hopefully is going to be only half of what hers is. So I shouldn't be too long for you guys. All right, so we'll get started. A little bit of a story here on some history. About my daughters and how Riley came into play. So once upon a time, there were two little biological sisters, Elena and Katerina, and they lived with a Russian family in the frigid winters of Siberia, Russia. The little Russian girls' nicknames were Lena and Katya. Lena, a child herself, always helped to care for Katya since birth. And sadly, their Russian papa died suddenly, which caused the two little girls, ages 5 and 9, to be placed into a Russian orphanage. The orphanage did not accept little children, and Katya was really young at that time, and she would have been placed into a baby orphanage. But Lena encouraged the orphanage directors to allow her little 5-year-old sister to go and stay in the same orphanage. And this way they could always stay together. This had never happened before, but the orphanage leaders agreed to do that. Lena, as you all know, was a strong and very protective of her little sister. So tiny Katya was a fun-loving little girl, and she could do a back bend and touch her head to her toes as she laid on her stomach. Katya, can you still do that? I don't know. It was pretty incredible to see. She'd do it right in our front room, and I was just amazed at what she could do with that. But anyway, she did that when she was little. Everyone loved the two sisters, and one summer, a group of missionaries from Texas came to the orphanage and did a summer camp for the older kids. Lena attended the camp, and there were prayers said for these children by the missionaries in Texas. And a short time later, those prayers were answered for Lena and Katya. At the same time, across the ocean from Lena and Katya, Robin and Lisa and their biological son, Trevor, wanted more children. So often Trevor, he would throw coins in a pond and wish for a sibling. And so we continued to pray for more children, and little did they know God would soon also answer their prayers. One day they saw in their church paper where families were needed to host Russian children for a program called Cherry Orchard. Now, I remember being in Michigan on a business trip, and I received this call from Lisa and Trevor, and they called to ask me if they could host be a host family for 2 weeks for this Russian orphan. And I really wasn't ready for that. So here we go. So we'd only planned to be a host family with no thought about adoption, but God had a different plan than us. We were to host a little boy. Over a 10-day period, the child we were going to host was changed 4 times. And finally, they asked us if we'd be willing to take 2 sisters. And they were really good girls, they told us, and we said, okay, we'll do that. So we said yes, and we happened to find Trevor's diary, and his diary said, "It's been a tough day. I got my braces tightened, and they hurt. Dad had to go with the other Cub Scout group, and we're getting 2 girls. So, rough day for Trevor. So all 13 Russian orphans arrived in Indianapolis with the host families and all the TV cameras. It was quite a havoc time. There were 10 of our family members that all went, and we greeted Lena and Katya, and they got off the plane with all the other Russian orphans, and they were both overwhelmed in meeting all 10 of us. It was really quite the time. As we walked down the airport to get to their suitcases, they began to cry. Barb started singing "Jesus Loves Me," and they stopped crying. They knew no English, but it seemed to settle them down a little bit.